Good morning. I want you to pause for a moment and think about this. Do you ever stand by a river and watch the water? On the surface, you might see leaves floating slowly, or maybe everything looks perfectly still. But just beneath that calm surface, there is a powerful pulling current, unseen but undeniable. That is where God is so often at work in our lives. In the silence that feels like abandonment, in the stillness that feels like stagnation, there is a divine current, moving, pulling, guiding you toward a destination you have not yet seen. Your life is not stuck, it is being steered. We crave the spectacular. We want the parting of the Red Sea, the fire from heaven, the miraculous healing that happens in an instant. And our God can do that, but more often, He works like the dawn. Think about it. When does the night truly become day? There is no single switch. It is a slow, imperceptible lightening of the sky. You can't pinpoint the moment the darkness loses its power. This is how God often delivers us. Not with a sudden explosion, but with a gradual, relentless dawn that He has been painting across the sky of your life long before you even notice the first hint of gray. We often expect God to move in dramatic ways, but many of His greatest works unfold slowly, like daylight easing in after a long night. Ruth experienced this when she stepped into a simple field, unaware it was part of God's plan to transform her entire future. She found herself working in a field belonging to Boaz. As it turned out, from our perspective, it looks like a lucky coincidence. But that phrase is God's way of whispering, the current was there all along. Her simple, faithful steps in the face of despair were leading her directly into her destiny, into the lineage of King David, and ultimately, Jesus Himself. Your field of Boaz might look like your ordinary job you go to every day, the child you care for, the simple prayer you whisper when no one is listening. It feels small, it feels insignificant. But what if your greatest breakthrough is hidden not in a dramatic rescue, but in your daily faithfulness? What if God is using the very things you take for granted to position you for a blessing you haven't even dreamed of? Your obedience in the small things is aligning you with the unseen current of His purpose. God is present even when emotions say otherwise. Elijah looked for Him in wind, fire, and quaking ground, but God showed up in a whisper. You may be in a season that feels like pressure or confusion, yet God is shaping something inside you, the same way a butterfly forms in hidden silence. What feels like loss or chaos may be the foundation of your next becoming. In the quiet, in the whisper that you have to lean in to hear, God is not only in the dramatic miracles. He is most intimately found in the quiet peace that settles your heart in the middle of the storm. Let's talk about your identity in this waiting period. When you can't see what God is doing, the enemy's greatest tool is to make you feel forgotten. God has passed you by. Your situation is too messy. You are too far gone. These are lies. The truth is etched in the palms of His hands. You are inscribed on the walls of His heart. Before you took your first breath, He knew the number of your days. The one who numbers the stars and calls them each by name knows your name. He is not just working on your circumstances. He is protecting His investment, and you are His most treasured possession. Think of the process of a butterfly. Inside the chrysalis, something looks like a total breakdown. The caterpillar essentially dissolves into a soupy, formless liquid. To an outside observer, it would look like death and chaos. There is no sign of the beauty to come. But within that mess, specific cells called imaginal cells begin to form, building the wings, the antennae, the new body. God is often working in the soup of our broken dreams and shattered plans. What looks like an ending is, in His hands, the essential raw material for a new beginning, for a beauty you could not achieve any other way. This is why Scripture tells us to focus on the unseen. Situations shift, emotions fluctuate, and challenges come and go. But God's promises stand firm. You don't need the full map. You just need the next illuminated step, like the wise men who followed one guiding light at a time. Walk in the direction God has shown you, even if the full picture isn't clear yet. Remember the journey of the wise men. They followed a star to find the newborn king. For months, maybe years, their only guide was a single point of light in a vast, dark sky. They didn't have a map. They didn't know the destination. They simply moved in the direction of the light they had been given. You may not have the full map for your life. You may only have one next step illuminated. That is enough. Follow the light you have. Take that one step. As you move in obedience to the light you possess, God will illuminate the next step and the next. The path is revealed to the moving heart. There is a difference between waiting for God and waiting on God. Waiting for God is passive and frustrated, like waiting for a bus. But waiting on God is an active, powerful posture. It's like a servant in a king's court, standing attentively, ready to move at the slightest nod of the master's head. It's full of expectancy and readiness. Isaiah 40:31 says, "But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint." This is the promise for those who wait on Him. Your strength is not depleted in the waiting. It is renewed. You are not growing weaker. You are being prepared to soar. So I speak this over you today. The unseen current is moving in your favor. It is pulling you away from dead ends and toward open doors. It is carrying provision that you haven't worked for and favor you haven't earned. It is connecting you to divine appointments with people who hold the keys to your destiny. You have not been forgotten. You have been positioned. The silence is not empty. It is full of God's activity. The wait is not a punishment. It is a preparation. Every season where God seems silent is actually a season where your roots are growing deeper. Trees don't grow during the storm. They grow in the stillness afterward. And just like that, God is strengthening the unseen parts of your life, your endurance, your faith, your inner confidence. When the next door opens, you won't just walk through it. You'll be prepared, grounded, and unshakable because of what God built in you during the quiet moments. And understand this, the peace you feel in your heart is not accidental. Peace is often the first sign that God is working behind the scenes. Before the blessing becomes visible, He settles the storm inside you. Before the opportunity appears, He calms your thoughts. Before the miracle unfolds, He strengthens your spirit. That inner peace is heaven's confirmation that God is already arranging things in your favor. Close your eyes for a moment with me. Just breathe. And in this quiet moment, I want you to make a declaration, not from a place of fear, but from a place of fierce faith. Say it out loud or whisper it in your heart. God, I may not see it, but I choose to believe it. I believe you are working right now. I believe you are fighting for me in the unseen realm. I believe my deliverance is on the way. I trust your heart, even when I cannot see your hand. My hope is in you. That declaration just shifted something in the atmosphere of your life. You have aligned your spirit with the truth. Now go today with a new lightness. The burden of figuring it all out is not yours to carry. Your only task is to stay in the current of His love and His will. Keep your heart soft. Keep your hands open. Keep your faith fixed on the unseen. The dawn is coming. The current is flowing. Your story is far from over. In fact, the best chapters are being written right now, in the silence, by the hand of God. You are seen. You are loved. You are being carried by a current of grace. If this message found you today, it's no accident. Pass that hope on to someone else. Share this video. Let's spread the word that God is always at work.